The dying light. The emergency beacon pulsed weakly through the cosmic void, each flash dimmer than the last. Commander Zara Velthon of the Kalari Empire floated weightless in her command chair, watching the power indicators drop steadily toward 0. Her ship, once a proud scout vessel of the most advanced civilization in known space, now drifted as helpless as space debris. She had been alone for 3 cycles now. 3 cycles since the attack that had crippled her vessel and killed her crew. The enemy had struck without warning, without identification, without mercy. Energy weapons she couldn't recognize had torn through their shields like they were made of vapor. Her crew had fought bravely, but against an invisible foe that seemed to know their every move before they made it, victory had been impossible. Zara closed her 4 eyes. The primary pair first, then the secondary. The Kalari were proud beings, standing nearly 3 meters tall with crystalline skin that shimmered in multiple colors. Their empire spanned hundreds of systems, their technology unmatched by any known species. Yet here she was, dying alone, in the dark between stars. The life support systems gave another stuttering cough. 23 hours of breathable air remained. After that, the cold equations of space would claim another victim. She had already sent her final report to High Command, though she doubted it would ever reach them. They were too far from any relay station, too deep in the unexplored regions where Kalari ships rarely ventured. A strange sound cut through the silence, not the familiar whine of failing systems or the groaning of damaged hull plates. This was different. A signal, crude and unrefined, pushing through her ship's dying communication array. Zara leaned forward, her elongated fingers dancing across the still-functioning controls. The signal strengthened, resolving into something that made her primary eyes widen in surprise. It was a voice, speaking in a language her translator struggled to decode. Unknown vessel, this is Captain Maria Torres of the Earth Coalition ship Persistence. We received your distress signal. Do you require assistance? Earth. Humans. Zara's secondary eyes narrowed in distaste. The Kalari had encountered humans only recently, a young species that had barely mastered faster-than-light travel. They were considered primitive by Kalari standards, their technology crude, their ships ungainly. The Empire's xenobiologists classified them as a Level 3 civilization at best, centuries behind the Kalari in development. But they were here, in deep space, offering help. Pride warred with survival instinct in Zara's mind. The Kalari were the shepherds of the galaxy, the ones who gave aid to lesser species. They did not receive it. Yet the alternative was death, alone and forgotten in the void. Her translator finally locked onto the human language pattern. She activated her communications panel, drawing power from the last functioning battery reserves. Human vessel, she said, her melodic voice carrying the authority of her rank despite her desperate situation. This is Commander Zara Velthon of the Kalari Empire. My ship is disabled. Life support critical. The words stuck in her throat like thorns. I require assistance. The response came immediately, warm and without hesitation. Commander, we have your position. ETA 15 minutes. Hang tight, we're coming for you. 15 minutes. Zara looked at her power readings again. It would be close, but she might make it. She began emergency preparations, sealing off damaged sections to preserve atmosphere, routing all remaining power to essential systems. As she worked, questions plagued her mind. What were humans doing this far from their territory? Their ships were inferior, their range limited. Yet here they were, in a region that gave even Kalari navigators pause. The human ship appeared on her failing sensors exactly when promised. Zara stared at the readings in disbelief. The vessel was unusual. Where Kalari ships were sleek and elegant, this human craft looked like someone had welded spare parts together. Multiple engine configurations clearly salvaged from different sources. Hull plating that seemed to be a patchwork of various alien technologies. Yet it moved with surprising grace, approaching her crippled vessel with careful precision. Docking clamps extended, reaching for her ship like gentle hands. Commander Velthon. Captain Torres's voice came through again. We're going to hard dock with your airlock. Our atmosphere should be compatible with your species. Are you able to move? Yes, Zara replied, though her legs trembled as she stood. The gravity generators had failed days ago and her muscles had begun to atrophy. The docking procedure was swift and efficient. When the airlock hissed open, Zara found herself facing 3 humans in dark blue uniforms. Captain Torres stood in the center, a woman of medium height with short black hair and intelligent brown eyes. Her companions, a tall man with ebony skin and a shorter woman with flame-red hair, flanked her with expressions of professional concern. "Commander," Torres said, extending her hand in what Zara recognized as a human greeting gesture. "Welcome. Aboard the Persistence, let's get you to our medical bay." Zara hesitated, then placed her larger hand in the human's grip. The captain's handshake was firm, confident. Thank you, Captain. Your arrival was most fortuitous." As they guided her through their ship, Zara's trained eye cataloged everything. The corridors were cramped by Kailari standards, but surprisingly well organized. She noticed repair patches everywhere, evidence of a ship that had seen many battles and survived them all. The crew they passed looked at her with curiosity but not fear, nodding respectfully as their captain led her past. In the medical bay, the red-haired woman, introduced as Dr. Sarah Mackenzie, began scanning her with instruments that seemed cobbled together from a dozen different technologies. Dehydration, malnutrition, muscle atrophy from zero-G exposure, the doctor muttered. "Nothing we can't handle. Commander, I'm going to start you on a nutrient drip. You should feel better within the hour." As the doctor worked, Captain Torres pulled up a chair beside the medical bed. "Commander, I have to ask, what happened to your ship? The damage patterns we're seeing, and they're unlike anything in our database." Zara closed her secondary eyes, remembering. "We were investigating an anomalous signal, something ancient, predating even Kailari records. When we approached the source coordinates, we were attacked. The enemy was invisible to our sensors. Their weapons bypassed our shields entirely. My crew..." She paused, grief threatening to overwhelm her rigid control. "They fought well, but we were not prepared for such an enemy." Torres leaned forward, her expression intense. "These attackers, did they communicate? Make any demands?" "Nothing. They struck in perfect silence. Destroyed our engines first, then our weapons. It was methodical, like they were studying us as they dismantled us." The captain exchanged glances with her companions. The tall man, First Officer James Patterson, spoke for the first time. "Captain, that matches the reports from Sector 7. Torres nodded grimly. 3 human colonies have gone dark in the past month. No distress signals, no debris, just gone." Zara straightened despite her exhaustion. "You have encountered this enemy?" "We think so. That's why we're out here, Commander. We're hunting." Torres stood, hands clasped behind her back. "Your people may consider us primitive, but humans have a saying, 'The enemy of my enemy is my friend.' Whatever's out there is a threat to both our species." The Kailari commander studied the human captain. Everything she had been taught about humans suggested they were impulsive, emotional, barely civilized. Yet here was calculation, strategy, and something else. Something that reminded her uncomfortably of the ancient Kailari virtue of Velthar, the willingness to face the dark for others. "What do you propose, Captain Torres?" The human smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both warm and predatory. "I propose we hunt together. Your technology, our, let's call it, unconventional thinking. Between us, we might just solve this mystery before it claims more lives." Zara considered. Protocol demanded she wait for rescue from her own people. Pride insisted she maintain Kailari superiority. But practicality, and perhaps wisdom, suggested another path. "Very well, Captain. The Kailari Empire accepts your proposal of joint operation." She paused, then added with the faintest hint of humor, "Though I reserve the right to be appalled by your methods." Torres laughed, a sound that filled the medical bay with unexpected warmth. "Fair enough, Commander, fair enough. As Dr. Mackenzie continued her treatment, Zara found herself studying these humans more carefully. They were younger than her people. Yes, their technology was eclectic rather than elegant. But there was something about them. Something that had brought them to the stars despite the odds. Something that had led them to answer a stranger's distress call without hesitation. Perhaps, she thought as the nutrient solution began to restore her strength, perhaps the Kalari had misjudged these humans. Perhaps there was more to them than crude ships and emotional responses. Outside the medical bay's viewport, the stars wheeled slowly past. Somewhere out there, an enemy waited in the darkness. But for the first time since the attack, Commander Zara Velthon did not face that darkness alone. The hunt was about to begin. Against protocol, the Persistence hummed with activity as it changed course, leaving Commander Zara's dead ship behind like a metal tombstone in the void. In the ship's conference room, an unusual gathering was taking place. Captain Torres sat at the head of the table, her senior officers flanking her. Across from them, Commander Zara occupied a specially modified chair, her tall frame still showing signs of her ordeal, despite Dr. Mackenzie's treatment. "Let me be clear, Lieutenant." Commander Chen spoke first, his weathered face creased with concern. "Regulations explicitly forbid sharing classified technology with non-allied species. The Kailari aren't even signatories to the Sol Accords." Torres leaned back in her chair. "The Kailari Empire hasn't signed because they consider us too primitive to warrant diplomatic recognition, Chenin. Times change." "With respect, Captain," Chen continued, "we're talking about revealing our detection grid modifications. The same modifications that Starfleet doesn't even know we have." Zara's secondary eyes opened, fixing on Chen. "You have modified detection systems?" Her tone carried surprise and perhaps a hint of respect. Patterson cleared his throat. "The Persistence isn't exactly a standard coalition vessel, Commander. We're independent contractors." "Privateers," Chen corrected. "Let's use honest terms." "Explorers with flexible funding models," Torres countered with a slight smile. "The point is, we've encountered things out here that standard fleet vessels haven't. Things that required creative solutions." Dr. Mackenzie input data into her tablet. "Commander Zara's medical scans show exposure to quantum phase radiation. It's not harmful in small doses, but it's a signature we've seen before. The Brisbane colony ship reported similar readings 3 days before they vanished." Zara straightened. "You believe the same entity that attacked my ship destroyed your colony?" "Entity?" Ensign Rivera looked up from her console. "You think it's alive?" "I am uncertain." Zara's primary eyes closed briefly. During the attack there were patterns. Not random destruction, but almost surgical. As if something was learning from each strike. Torres stood and activated the wall display. Star charts flickered to life, showing the region of space they occupied. Red markers indicated known attacks. 3 colonies, 2 cargo convoys, 1 Rigelian science vessel, and now your ship. She traced connections between the points. "No obvious pattern in timing or location, but they're getting bolder," Patterson finished. "Moving closer to inhabited systems." Chen's expression darkened. "And we're proposing to hunt this thing with jury-rigged systems and alien tech we don't understand?" "No," Torres replied. "We're proposing to combine our advantages. Commander, your people's sensors are superior to ours in almost every way, but somehow, this thing evaded them completely." Zara nodded reluctantly. "Our systems detected nothing. Not even quantum shadows or subspace ripples. It was as if space itself betrayed us." "Right. But we've learned something your people haven't." Torres gestured to Rivera. "Show them." The young ensign activated her console. The main display shifted, showing sensor data that made Zara lean forward in surprise. Where standard readings showed empty space, this revealed something else. Distortions. Patterns. Ghost-like traces that shouldn't exist. "How?" Zara breathed. "Human stubbornness," Torres said. "After the first attack, we knew conventional sensors were useless. So we got unconventional. Rivera here used to be a deep-sea sonar tech. She applied acoustic principles to subspace scanning. That should not work, Zara stated flatly. The physics are completely different. Rivera grinned. Shouldn't work and doesn't work aren't the same thing. We're not scanning space itself. We're listening to what space remembers. Zara's four eyes focused on the young human. You created a quantum echo chamber. More like quantum memory foam, Rivera corrected. Space keeps impressions of what passes through it. You just need to know how to read them. Chen sighed. And now you want to share this barely tested, theoretically impossible system with the Kalari? I want to survive, Torres said simply. And I want to stop whatever's out there before it reaches Earth, or the Kalari homeworld. Silence fell. Zara studied the humans around the table. Chen's suspicion, Rivera's enthusiasm, Patterson's careful neutrality, Mackenzie's clinical interest, and Torres herself radiating a certainty that seemed to bend others to her will. Your crew does not trust me, Zara observed. My crew doesn't trust easily, Torres corrected. We've been burned before, but they'll follow my lead. And if your lead is wrong, if I am a security risk, Torres met her gaze steadily. Then I'll deal with the consequences, but I don't think I'm wrong. You're not just any Kalari officer. You're a scout commander. Your mission profile includes first contact scenarios. That makes you more open-minded than most of your people. Zara's skin shifted colors subtly, a sign of emotional response her people rarely displayed to outsiders. You have studied us well. Know your neighbors, Torres quoted, even if they think you're primitive. The conference room door chimed. Security Chief Tanaka entered, his expression grim. Captain, long-range sensors just picked up an energy. Signature, same quantum frequency as the attacks. Everyone stiffened. Torres moved to the tactical display. Where? Sigma Draconis system. The mining station there went silent 6 hours ago. That's a 4-hour jump from here, Patterson calculated. Torres turned to Zara. Commander, I'm about to violate about 17 regulations. If you want to return to Kalari space, we can drop you at the nearest neutral outpost. But if you're willing to risk trusting us... Zara stood, her full height impressive even in the human-sized room. Captain Torres, I am already in violation of numerous Kalari protocols. I chose survival over pride when I accepted your aid. I choose purpose over protocol now. Chen? Torres looked at her suspicious officer. Chen grimaced. I still think this is insane. He paused. But I'd rather be insane and alive than reasonable and dead. I'm in. Torres smiled. Then let's hunt. Rivera, integrate Commander Zara's sensor protocols with your quantum echo system. Patterson, plot a course to Sigma Draconis. Mackenzie, I want full biological hazard protocols. We don't know what we're dealing with. As the crew dispersed, Zara remained with Torres. Captain, there is something else. During the attack on my ship, just before my crew died, they reported visions. Torres's expression sharpened. What kind of visions? Impossible things. Geometries that hurt to perceive. Sounds that had color. Some of them seemed almost entranced, as if something beautiful was calling to them. Psychotropic weapons? Perhaps, or perhaps something worse. Something that doesn't just kill the body but corrupts the mind. Torres considered this. We'll add psychiatric monitoring to our protocols. Mackenzie's got experience with Psi warfare from the Vegan conflicts. You have encountered psychic attacks before? Humans are stubborn, Torres said with a grim smile. Sometimes too stubborn to realize we're supposed to go insane. The ship shuddered slightly as the hyperdrive engaged. Through the viewports, stars elongated into streams of light. They were committed now, racing toward an unknown enemy that had already proved deadly to ships far more advanced than the Persistence. Captain, Zara said quietly, your crew called you a privateer, yet you risk everything to investigate these attacks. This seems inconsistent with profit motivation. Torres moved to the viewport watching the light show of hyperspace. My parents were on the colony ship New Horizon. It vanished in unexplored space 15 years ago. No distress signal, no debris, just gone. She turned back to Zara. Sometimes, The job chooses you, Commander. Zara inclined her head. I understand. My sister commanded a research vessel that disappeared investigating ancient ruins beyond the rim. The Empire declared her lost to natural phenomena. I never believed them. Then we both have ghosts to chase, Torres said. The bridge door opened, and Rivera poked her head in. Captain, Commander, you need to see this. The sensor integration is producing some unexpected results. They followed her to the sensor station. The main display showed a complex overlay of Kalari precision scanning and human quantum echo detection. Where they merged, patterns emerged that neither system could detect alone. It's not just one entity, Rivera explained, her voice tight with excitement and fear. Look at the harmonic patterns. It's a network. Multiple nodes connected by quantum entanglement. Zara leaned closer. A hive mind? Or something worse, Torres murmured. Something that exists partially outside our dimensional framework. Which means, Patterson added from the navigation console, we're not hunting a single predator. We're facing an entire ecosystem. The bridge fell silent except for the hum of instruments. Outside, hyperspace continued its light show, carrying them toward a mining station that might already be a tomb. Recommendations? Torres asked the room. Shen spoke first. Retreat. Report to Coalition Command. Let the fleet handle it. The fleet doesn't have our sensors, Rivera countered. They'd be blind. And the Kailari Empire would dismiss the threat until it was too late, Zara added. They do not react quickly to new paradigms. Torres moved to her command chair. Then we continue, but we do it smart. Full stealth protocols once we drop to normal space. Passive sensors only until we understand what we're facing. She looked around the bridge, meeting each crew member's eyes. Anyone wants out, now's the time. No shame in it. No one moved. All. Right then. Torres settled into her chair. Red alert. All hands to battle stations. In 3 hours we find out what's been hunting us. As the crew prepared for battle, Zara found herself at an auxiliary sensor station, working beside Rivera, to refine their hybrid detection system. The young human's enthusiasm was infectious, her intuitive grasp of quantum mechanics impressive despite her lack of formal Kailari education. Commander, Rivera said suddenly, her voice low. Can I ask you something? Proceed. Your people are thousands of years more advanced than us. Why are you really helping us? You could just wait for rescue from your own fleet. Zara considered her response carefully. When my ship was dying, when I was alone in the dark, it was humans who answered my distress call. Not the great Kailari Empire, not our allied species, humans. She paused. Perhaps advancement cannot be measured only in technology. Rivera smiled. My grandmother used to say something similar. Smart is knowing how to build a fire. Wise is knowing when to share its warmth. A proximity alert interrupted their conversation. The Persistence was approaching the drop point. Torres's voice carried across the bridge. All hands, this is the captain. We're about to enter what may be hostile space. Whatever's out there has killed without warning or mercy. But we have advantages. They don't expect. Human determination, Kailari precision, and the stubborn refusal to go quietly into the dark. She paused. Today we hunt the hunters. All stations report ready. As confirmations came in, Zara felt an unexpected sensation. Not the cold professionalism of Kailari military doctrine, but something warmer. These humans had taken her in, trusted her despite regulations, risked everything for answers. They dropped from hyperspace on the edge of the Sigma Draconis system. The mining station floated silent and dark against the star's bloody light. But the hybrid sensors revealed more. Quantum shadows, dimensional fractures, and something else. Contact, Rivera whispered. It's here. And Captain, it knows we're here too. The hunt had begun, and the hunters were about to discover they were also prey.